Welcome back to Dragon Ball Super Anime Review, episode number 50. Yep, this I'm reviewing the 126th episode of the anime, Surpassing Even a God, Vegeta's life-risking blow. This episode is mostly focused on the fight with Top. He gets a lot of focus this episode. I mean, like a ton of focus. Mostly it's just Frieza and 17 fighting for most of the episode until Vegeta himself steps in. Yeah, and they try almost everything with him. And of course, the episode had picked up right where last week's episode left off. Oh yeah, and the whole thing of destroying half the unit, yeah, that happens in this episode. That was actually, I kind of forgot it happened next week's episode because I knew it happened this portion of the arc when the whole arena gets virtually destroyed thanks to an explosion. I thought it was something Top did. No, it was something Vegeta. I'll get to that in a minute. Yeah, they spent a lot of time basically fighting him, and whatever 17 and Frieza do, it does nothing to him at all until like you see a little bit of the fight between Jiren and Goku. That takes up a tiny bit of this episode because mostly it's about Top, and then Vegeta decides to tag himself in, and he has a much more easier time fighting him than 17 or even Frieza. Yes. At one point, bringing up the fact that he wants to get his hands to a Dragon Ball so he can wish back into verse 6. And of course, well, Vegeta calls Top on his bullcrap about abandoning his principles just so for higher power. He thinks that's complete stupid. It's complete nonsense. He's fighting not only for the oath, but also his family and his same pride. And despite the fact that Top is throwing out a bunch of destructo blasts, Vegeta is able to bypass and basically beat the living crap out of him. So, yeah, first try to use his final flash on him. I thought he was going to use the garlic gun on him, but no, he doesn't use the garlic gun. And instead he uses the suicidal thing he used back in the Majin Buu arc. Yes, that particular thing. Which, this is the first time in quite some time that the series has been known in the past to use, whenever they do flashbacks to, let's say, DBZ, they actually use actual stock footage. This is the first time in quite a while that this has happened. I think the last official time this happened that I can think of, I don't think it happened this arc, no. I think the last time officially I think it happened, off the top of my head, was probably the Black Goku arc. The Goku Black arc. Yeah, that was the last time officially I could think of. They actually used actual stock footage in the show as for flashback. Mostly that was flashback involving Cell and, of course, Future Trunks. Yeah, this is the first time since that, but at least this is basically Piccolo remembering this. Him using his flash, this particular blast against Majin Buu. And, of course, Piccolo thinks that he might be using this attack to kill Top along with himself, but no. And of course, Top fires one of his destructo balls at him, which time can absorb in the energy blast, and pretty much almost destroys most of the ring. Like, my gosh, almost the entire thing is destroyed. And then, like, okay, so yeah, and here's the thing. Vegeta survives, but all it cost him was his shirt and his piece of his armor. And yeah, that's all that blast cost him. And then you see Top pop up in the stands without showing his destructo power. Apparently it's gone. Yeah, it's kind of the same thing with the Batar earrings when they had those characters merged, when they had Kale and Caulifla merged. And it's also kind of the same thing with those robots from Universe, I believe it was 4. Even though you had those 3 robots and science got all merged into one. Apparently, when they all went to the sideline, they all got demerged. Apparently, it's some magical effect of the void that they're in. So, yeah. So all that's left, they say there's only 4 fighters left. Now I'm glad the fact narrator pointed out because the sub did not point this out at all. Like you said, there's only 3 fighters left. Like, no, that's not correct. Luckily enough, look up the narrator of the series, bothers to remember that Frieza's there because the sub narrator doesn't bother to figure it out because Frieza's still there. Frieza disappears for the next like 2 or 3 episodes. Yeah, Frieza's nowhere to be seen. He doesn't finally return until toward the end of the series, so he's absent for the next couple episodes. Yeah, that's kind of weird for Frieza. You have Jiren, who actually, here's the thing. I actually like his dialogue better here than the sub. The sub, he is disgusted with Top, and he has some terrible stuff to say to him. The sub. Here it's kind of the same, but I think maybe Stoltz may have seen this. Even he probably agrees that hearing Jiren say this bullcrap stuff, and he probably thought that, yeah, we should not have Jiren say that. This is more of a toned down version of Basic Quiz. It's different dialogue, but it's a similar level to what he said. And he does give him praise for Vegeta for eliminating Top. But at least he wasn't downright basically insulting him and being a bit racist toward him. I mean, that's what was implied. That's what it was in the sub. That's what I can tell from when I originally watched it last year. But this is a heck of a lot better. I gotta praise Patrick Stoltz for doing a fantastic job with this last bit of dialogue for this episode, because I did not care for the dialogue the sub actor had to say for Jiren toward Top when he got eliminated. And of course, everyone's shocked like usual. And of course, now we're getting toward the very end. As of now, with this episode, there is exactly 5 episodes left to go for the entire series. Now, as for the future of this particular anime review series, because of the fact there's only 5 episodes left, I decided to switch it around a bit again. Because originally, when I was doing these reviews on Sunday, basically, because of course I added Dragon Ball Super to it, and Boruto, basically the order was this: Super, Dragon Ball Super, One Piece, and then Boruto. That was the order for quite some time. And then I decided to switch One Piece and Super because I was a little more excited with One Piece. Plus, also at the time that the whole K arc was getting close to being very ending. And now I've decided basically to do a switch around again. This time, actually, for a little better reason. Because Super is about over, and I kind of wanted basically, as soon as I finish up doing One Piece, I go straight to Boruto and then Super. And with Super gone, I only have about 2 shows left. Yes, only have about 2 shows left for Sunday, which, as far as I know, these 2 series are not going anytime soon at all. I mean, well, Parrot and Toei basically have not said anything about these series going, so, and, well, in the case of the 2 of them, Boruto is monthly, One Piece is weekly. Though Super does have manga, but I have been hearing rumor for a while that there is plans, definitely, to continue the series, but they're apparently on hold for some reason. Yes, that is the current rumor I've been hearing about the continuation of this particular series. I mean, the last thing that Toei released when it comes to Dragon Ball was the Broly film. Yeah, that was the last thing officially released. And that came out roughly like 8 months after the end of this show aired in Japan. Yes. Now, I've also been hearing that there might be another film coming out. I wouldn't mind saying that, but the thing is, the Dragon Ball Super stuff, there has been barely anything mentioned for some new stuff, because I don't get my news from comic.com. They're usually pretty reliable when it comes to their new stuff, but I haven't seen anything at all related to it. I mean, the only thing that they report on is basically spoilers for the dub. That's all they do for Super now. Yeah, just what's revealed for the dub. That's all they do now, just spoiler reviews of this. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing upcoming. There's nothing. Yes. But not much else to say about the episode itself. I'm definitely looking forward to next week's episode, which is going to be the beginning of the end of the series. Yep. Would I continue the series if the series comes back? Yes, I probably will. But basically with the series being over soon, the series probably basically be sort of finished. I'll probably do, once the final episode comes out, I'll probably do an extra video to give my final thoughts on the anime itself. For now, I'll probably do that for 856 episode, just in an even number. But that's this video. That's it for this particular review. I still have one more review I'm going to do, and I'm going to do it next with the Comic Corner. Okay? But see you next view. Bye.